Good afternoon, folks. We'll go for part 3. But I'm just going to burn away any negative energy from talking about this topic of releasing toxicity, people, places, things. Bring in divine light, righteousness. Only that which is for our highest and best good and that of others. Acknowledging all souls. But bringing in the protective layer of divine for our highest ascension path. Right, so like before I said we had 23, if you go back in the other videos, 23 and 32 mirroring numbers. But we got to 32. And I'd just like to say that my words are using the Oxford English Dictionary, meaning of it. There was no contracting going on here. So she breaks Kalarawatri. She breaks open toxic systems, which is part of part 2, and reveals deceptive behaviors. In unmasking the terror of what has happened or is still happening, we become able to disconnect from sources of abuse so we can begin to heal the trauma. That which is not acknowledged can never heal, but is doomed to be repeated. The acknowledgement of Kalarawatri is not an intellectual understanding, but a bone-deep agony of release. If you've had trauma and hurts from negativity of others, then you are seeking freedom and to be released to your fullest, and you want it to be healed, and that is the intention of this channel, is to reach bone deep. There's a light for you, my dears. Bone deep healing. It is like pulling the thorn out of a lion's paw. It hurts, but it is the way that leads to healing. So you've got to feel it to heal it, folks. There's no other way to release it from your system. Rather than the hurt that would come from trying to ignore the thorn and dealing with increasingly negative consequences. So you have to be really brave, and that, I think that's the biggest thing about spirituality, is going within, taking all the questions about, it's a personal journey, and it requires you being extremely honest with yourself first and foremost. Even when you're communicating or seeing people on YouTube and you can see the disparaging or trying to be the greatest leader, for example, or we're all loved by divine. Basically, the darkness is the absence of light. So I'm not going to be here judging those that have embodied the darkness to in these systems. Maybe they're not as spiritually aware, or they, if it is a simulation that they say, then they chose that path to help others awaken. So anyway, I just think it's kind of live and let live, but it's about embodying your light and what brings you peace and you happiness and you joy. That's what we're after on this channel. So I send that energy to you with lots of love and a here. So the name Kalararatri literally translates as black night. Well, we've all, this dark night of the soul, that's what it makes me think of. A time that is sacred and honoured with celebration in the Hindu tradition. Well, I'm all for all traditions that resonate on this path. It is also an emanation of the goddess Kali herself. In that sense, Kali is our dark night of the soul. So if you're going through a dark night of the soul, and this can last for a long time, folks, if you're going through excruciating pain, you don't know what's up or down in your life, you're trying to understand, although I can use understand because I've already explained about the Oxford English Dictionary. I'm not below anybody, I'm with divine. But anyway, well, I digress again. Yeah, you will go through a dark night of the soul, but this is purging. So whatever is arising, to love that. Matt Kahn says that. So that's a beautiful thing that he shared with us as collective souls to help us. Even just little quips like that can help you in the extreme agony and extreme loneliness, and you're literally, your soul is crying out for help, and then you realize that you end up helping yourself. You become the savior. Your 7 chakras, really, I think actually is the 7 candlesticks. They all become a light, and this is the Christ, the divinity within. This is the path that will enlighten you and bring your wish fulfillment, your highest self. In the Hindu scriptures, Kalararatri is known as the dark night of final dissolution. Well, dissolution means the final dark night of final. So we've gone through maybe the dark night many times. Could have been for years. And yeah, we're dissolving it. The formal and absolute ending of something that no longer needs to be. So we've all been going through it collectively all our lives without us really realizing. And I guess this is why they call us Blu-rays. I mean, I'm coming up 44. But I mean, labels are good. But I've done a video on labels. I personally think, because at the end of the day, it is that what the spiritual community talk about gnosis, that through our experiences of life, we're slowly starting to see a divinity that's unfurling, and the mask is coming off, the veil is coming down for the moment of great reveal from divine. And this is that beauty that arises from the ashes, and it is the phoenix. It is the love and the excitement that we feel when we finally realize that there's nothing outside of us that will bring us this. It is literally from within. This emanates from within. So yeah, okay. So they're saying that's ended. So she signifies that there is no going back. She is the spiritual solvent into which we, as we have known ourselves and experienced our agonies, can dissolve. Oh, I mean, that's just beautiful. Breathe that in, folks. That's what we want. This could be the moment right here, right now, as you're watching this, whenever it reaches you. I know for me, it resonates very deeply and profoundly. So I'm ready for this as much as you are. On the spiritual path, to go through a dark night of Kalara retreat is considered a protective and enveloping experience. Here we can be held in a psychic container that allows us to dispense with all we have been working through or are holding onto. It is where we try to figure it out and just let it all go. Similar to what happens during sleep. During the spiritual sleep of Kalara retreat, we drop the ego and intellect and allow for the divine reorganizing and healing power of the sacred feminine to work its restorative magic. Energies are processed and cleared away. From her as the cosmic womb, we can then be recreated, reborn. The oracle brings a message of total change, of a need to let go of what has been so that a new form can be established. You will not know what the new form is going to look like, just as you do not know what you will dream of before you go to sleep, nor in what state you will awaken the following morning. As you enter into this spiritual sleep, you cannot know all that will happen. Yet this is Kali, so we can trust. We can trust this energy, the Divine Mother, the feminine energies worldwide, all past lives, all ancestors, all those that are for our highest and best good. We've all had women in our lives that have helped us. We've had women that haven't helped us too, but the energy of the ones that truly love you and have your back, that is the energy we're feeling today. Sleep only comes when we let go. So too, this deep and restorative spiritual surrender can only happen when we are willing to let go of our attachment to what has been. So we have to release and let go. Whatever's been in the past is the past. We can release it with love. Doesn't mean we don't acknowledge it. We totally acknowledge it. I encourage you, if you're in pain, keep acknowledging it, release it, give it to Divine Mother and Divine Father. This form of the goddess is said to ward off dark entities. So you're protected. If she's around you and you're listening to this, she's around you and she's going to protect you. And all you need to say is, I accept Divine Mother's, Divine Father's protection in this process. So maybe this is why it's part 3, because it's taken, it took me quite, kept cutting off. But anyway, this form of the goddess is said to ward off dark entities, ghosts or spirits and negative energies as they all flee upon her arrival. The sanctuary of night and all it entails, such as coming face to face with our fears and through that releasing them, is a temple for healing with the goddess. So the many gifts of Kalara retreat include increased fearlessness and freedom. The oracle guides you to trust in her protection and her promise that under her guiding hand you shall become all you are destined to be. I will do this, it says an invocation ritual, so it says say the following prayer. Jai Ma Kali, Dark Mother of the Black Night, Cosmic Womb of Kalara tree, I honour you, the divine dissolution, the ending necessary to yield the promised fulfillment. My trust in you is unconditional. I openly acknowledge my suffering and give voice to the agonies I have experienced with intention only to release all of it to you. Bless me with the courage of your honesty to attain complete release. I was going to say surrender, but same thing, release and surrender. What I have known is less than a drop in the oceanic divine nature that you are awakening within me. I cross the threshold into your healing darkness of unknowing. Here I rest for as long as needed, gently and lovingly dissolving into your being until I am ready to be birthed anew. May all beings feel your love and know your beautiful liberation. Jai Ma Kali. They're encouraging here, rest now, perhaps in a darkened room or with a lightweight cover resting comfortably over your eyes to reduce the light. Be in the space of not knowing for a while. Know that it is okay, that it is a part of the journey. Give yourselves permission to return to this space as often as you need. There will be a time when you no longer need it, but for now, be here with trust. When you are ready to emerge, complete the practice with your hands in prayer at your heart. You've completed your healing process. Okay. Thank you, Kalararitri, Divine Mother, for this process of releasing the past, what has burdened us, the energies that have held us back, but have also led to our awakening and understanding and obtaining more compassion for those that suffer. We thank you and we honour you for who and what you are to us. I like the thought that we are, it is like going into a sleep, really. It's trusting. I like that thought that to fall asleep, you have to be trusting enough to release your body to sleep. So that's a nice thought. So whenever you're stressed, I'd highly recommend to go and lie on your bed, or, I mean, I lie on my bed, but you can, or sit in a chair, but lie in a bed, and put your hand on your heart and even on your stomach if you're feeling turmoil, and just doing those big deep breaths in and being present with yourself, and let the love in and just release, surrender to what it is. I might just angels and ancestors here, these cards, oracle cards. I'll just have a see what needs to come through for us. Kali Ma, Divine Mother, World Divine Mother. What would be for the collective to hear on this YouTube channel? Lovely. Okay, well, this one flew out, so Medicine Mother, honor your inner knowing. Let's have a read of Medicine Mother. So we're mothers here. Bless them. Message, take action, do what you know you need to do. So that's just acknowledging your inner knowing in any given moment, the here and now, the present moment. Just always give yourself 10 minutes to focus on the day and think about the jobs that you need to attend to, and list it. It helps you get them down and also keeps you productive. And it stops you fretting. If you write it down, it helps a lot. Okay, and Mother always knows best. I class myself more as an auntie than a mother, but I am a mother to my children. Mother always knows best, they say, and it's true. We all know a maternal figure who's extremely intuitive and insightful, and this medicine mother has gone through many ups and downs. She has lived and she has lost. Oh, we know what that feels like to our own capacity. She knows what it's like to suffer and to want to give up. Oh, yes. So the medicine of this card is that it's okay to make mistakes and get it wrong sometimes. And it's okay for things to come to an end. It's not the end of the world. It's just the end of one chapter and the beginning of something new. The medicine mother reminds you that even though you will have low lows, you aren't here to suffer. You're here to be supported and to support others. That's what the intention of this channel. So we're all a family supporting each other. Let her give you the loving encouragement to take the next step forward. There is an old pattern rising up in you now, and it's time to deal with it and release it for good. You're being encouraged to love and respect yourself enough to take the steps you know you need to take to move closer to where you'd like to be. You already know the answers. You know what you need to do. You may have been using delaying tactics or holding back, but now you are being guided to take action. Action requires courage, but your angels and guides are bringing you the courage to move forward. Take just one step. When you do, the next one will be presented to you. So that's Divine Mother, and Divine only ever gives us one step at a time. They will not unveil so that it becomes a burden to us, but they're waiting for us to take the action and the initiative to, and they're also wanting to see that we're acknowledging the synchronicities and the intuition that they've given to us, to our soul self, to our heart, mind, soul template, body, and how we're going to, if we're going to action it, if we're going to implement what they're asking of us. This channel is actually something that I felt called to do, and I don't know how it's going to unfurl, but that's part of the excitement, isn't it, folks? And yeah, I'd really appreciate if you like and subscribe, obviously, to watch my healing journey as much as anything. It's not necessarily about monetary gain for me, to be fair, because I just had thoughts before when I came through. We got the Protection Guardian here. We're going to be going into a, you know, when these energies really become more embodied in more and more people, there will be another source of exchange, and it will break these toxic systems. It will be a dissolving of exactly what we've just had, and so you listen to part 1 video, part 2 and part 3, because you'll see the flow of this and how it's all come together. And I really feel that Divine, because it's bringing the spiritual aspect of what you're going through, but also what we're going through collectively, and where we're heading. So where we're heading is just taking that one step at a time. And we are protected. That was just on the bottom of the deck. It says drop your shields. So we've got to open up to the love, after we've released this negativity and toxicity that's tried to hamper us or to try and make us bitter. If we've successfully released it, then we can go, we now can grow from the heart and expand, and our auras will expand. And yeah, spring, so you'll see. I mean, we're in spring in New Zealand. This is where I'm, but see your seeds grow. So it's about sowing those seeds of love. And this one says broken arrow, but embrace the energy of peace. So we bring peace into our heart, and Sky Father's here too. He has to be present too, bless him. That's so cute. So yeah, the wisdom, you know, the grey, you know, the wisdom, but the hawk, and just all the wonderful things that you get from nature that that brings you joy, the moments where you know it's from divine in your day, just to I mean, it makes it magical when you're open to it, and you open your heart to receiving these downloads or synchronicities, and you know, you can feel so loved, and you're like, oh, you know, that brings you that joy that you've then got to share with others, but you can't pour from an empty cup. So, you know, we just have to ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, knock and the door shall be open to you. And that is our path. We're just here to keep following, and to trust. Yeah. Right. I hear my dog's barking. I don't know why. I'm sure. I think, is there anything else, Spirit? Let's have a look at these abundance deck. What can we look forward to, Holy Spirit? What can we look forward to going forward, as we listen to our higher self, our higher calling, and our intuition, and as we practice this more on a daily basis and let go of the ego? And okay, couldn't get better than that. Expansiveness. That's what we can expect. Eternity is far more creative than the rigid, constrained, and exhausted ego. Wow! I didn't even know this card was in here. I mean, that's spirit for you, isn't it? Like, if you bring in, you only intend for the highest and best good, it's great. For all, for yourself and others, that's the joy. Is freedom. We all want that freedom. The freedom from the constraints of this life. I no longer want this fiery ring of resentment to block the good. Because we can resent what's happened to us. I mean, I know. You'd have to look at my previous videos to see some of that. But it says, release me from its bonds. I don't want to repeat any of those or go back with anyone that's in my past that's got toxic energy towards me. Heck no. Especially when it was unjustified, but I'm grateful for the lesson. I'm grateful for what it's taught me. I'm grateful that it's helped me see my own beauty within. But, and it gives me compassion for others and what they suffer. And also giving me, like, the understanding of of what other people suffer, and through quite often no fault of their own. We chose this path, our souls. I mean, I listened to Dolores Cannon. I mean, they say we choose our path before we come in, but there's a veil over our eyes, isn't there? We don't remember everything until Divine's ready to reveal it, and that's all in good time. So just keep following. But yeah, expansiveness, yes. It's eternity is far more creative than the rigid, constrained, and exhausted ego. And I think even in the spiritual community needs to learn that. Because we can just trade from one, you know, we can bring spirituality into the toxic system. I think we're actually supposed to break free of the toxic system. You know, I know we've still got to live and you know, while there's going to be that transitionary period while we're breaking away from the old, and it is consciousness. This is why I feel called to do this, is because it's the raising of the consciousness of what's actually been happening, acknowledging it. And there's so many people that still don't acknowledge what's going on in the world. They've got blinkers on their eyes. They're trusting of what's been going on, and yet the deception, everything that we've spoken about in these part 3 videos, you know, it needs to be released. And that's my goal anyway. And yeah, to bring in a new way of you know, if you think about Lemuria, I mean, yeah, Lemuria would have been an amazing civilization, obviously. They had technologies, or there was more high vibrational stuff, medicine, woman going on then than there is today. So we actually have regressed a bit, but I think we need to move forward, and I think that's what we're coming into. So I look forward to it. I mean, I'm just a layman, really, laywoman. Layman's terms is what I'm trying to talk about here. Just so that it's, you know, I can only speak from my experience and the visions and the wisdom that God gives me every day. It'll be no different to you. You as you grow and having spiritual integrity, like we've been honest with yourself and clearing away the debris that no longer serves your highest and best. It's good. And, you know, saying sorry if you need to. And the more you do this, and you're purging out old behavior that no longer serves you and is not pleasant for other people, let's face it, because we're all going to be like this on the scales at different times. But the more integrity you have and the more you grow, then I believe the more downloads you get, the more you've got a vessel ready to hold the love and light. But, you know, if there's any hidden, you know, subconscious blocks that is stopping this, then you will stay in a stagnation. You'll stay where you've got to. And I think a lot of people get to a certain get to a level of comfortableness, and then they don't want to grow past that. So when you want to be able to go into the depths of divine, and that's like going into the womb. It is like going into the abyss. It's painful, and people don't like it. It's not nice. And you wonder if you're going to get out of it. And some people do, unfortunately, take their lives because it is so painful. And they forget that this is what they signed up for. And I've known people that have done this, that I've didn't realize, but I have spoken to, that I didn't really understand how that but yeah, that, you know, but they say on the other side there's many colours. There's colours that you don't see in this world. So, but they wish that they hadn't, in the fact that they, you know, for their family, that they but anyway, they probably reincarnate. They'll choose another soul path lesson. That's what I think anyway. I don't know it all. I really don't. But it's you know, what affects me and what's helpful to me, then I will share with you. And, you know, we're all learning. We will always be learning. And but like Divine Mother, just trust in Divine Mother, Divine Father, and believe in them to guide you out of and through and beyond what life has presented to you, and keep growing. That's my advice. So sending you so much love, and yeah, that was a long video. Bye.